As long as the Pokemon series has been around, there's always been one constant. The music has always been top-notch. From the 8-bit days of Red and Blue, to the chiptune era of the Ruby and Sapphire games, all the way to the orchestral themes used in the newer games, there has never been a bad-sounding Pokemon OST. However, I feel that there is one that stands above all the rest. Hello there, my name is Keith, and I just wanted to, in essence, write a love letter of sorts to what I consider the best generation of Pokemon music, Generation 5. For this video, if you'd like, tab out or let it play in the background while you work on a school project or whatever. This will be just me discussing the music along with snippets of it in the background. And one last thing, I will be streaming some Pokemon Voltway on my Twitch page right after this video premieres. So afterwards, come through to my Twitch page, twitch.tv/JonahKeith, and check it out. Also check out my Twitter, where you'll see updates about videos and streams. And last but not least, leave a comment, like the video, and subscribe for more videos like this. Alright, enough with the shameless plugs. Let's get into the video. For me, a good overworld theme in any video game is able to spark emotions and memories of when exactly that song is played. For example, in a game like Final Fantasy VII, when the bombing theme mission plays, I can imagine the heart-pounding suspense the cast must be feeling during that moment. Or in a game like Kingdom Hearts 2, when the Twilight Town theme plays, I can imagine the feeling of a relaxing summer day. Do whatever task the day throws at you. What's cool about the Generation 5 Pokemon games is that I can imagine where I am on the map at all times. What's unique about it, what stuff happens there, etc. Nuvema Town, for example, is a small, peaceful town on the coast of a vast region. The accordion playing in the background portrays a slow, easygoing atmosphere. I can picture stepping out of my home, taking in the fresh breeze and feeling a wave of relaxation ripple throughout my body. Route 1 provides a similar feeling. The scene where you and your rivals come to mind instantly, where the trio of you step out into the great unknown together. The anxiety many feel about stepping into what essentially is uncharted territory may feel daunting at first, but after diving in, you quickly realize that it may not be so different after all. Accumula Town is the meme song of the generation, if you didn't already know. Which I think if you clicked on a Pokemon music video, I'd assume you do. But this is the theme used in the Furret Walking song. Now, jokes aside, this theme is also excellent. The first town you reach after leaving the nest is a small but quaint little town that sits on the outskirts of a few cities that have gyms. The same feelings experienced as the previous route themes, but it also adds this feeling of pure joy, if that's the best way to describe it. As you begin to explore the region, you begin to uncover the various extra areas in the game that allow your mind to get lost within the music. Places like the Dream Yard, with the surprisingly dark past of being a ruined research center for the study of dreams, turned into a playground for Muda and Musharna with this whimsical, playful-sounding theme to it. To the Pinwheel Forest, a lush green environment which houses not only the plethora of bug and grass-type Pokemon for you to add to your team, but also a theme that creates a sense of mystery. They are big examples of the locales that are boosted by the excellent music in the background, creating the perfect backdrop for these locations to thrive that allowed this region to stand out amongst the crowd of other regions as one of the best. Once you finally exit Pinwheel Forest, you are greeted with the massive Sky Arrow Bridge. This is a theme I'd like you to take a listen to in particular. This is one of my favorite themes in the game. This is where the game takes the small town exploration theme I was discussing earlier and takes a completely different tone. I remember first playing this game and being in awe of the massive bridge my character was currently running across, and the different angles that popped in and out granted you this grand sense of scale, all culminating in the skyline of Castelia City, the region's representation of New York City. Every city and route theme after this has this feeling of immense excitement or wonder about it that makes each place a blast to discover every time I find one. Castelia City is one of those themes that just fit perfectly with the city they reside in. The saxophone is a perfect instrument to be headlining what is essentially the first city in the Pokémon game to warrant its title as a city. The bustling city atmosphere, backed by the sensational sounds of the sax, make me feel as if I've been transported to New York City. Route 5 is a weird route to follow after Castelia for me. I don't understand why. Outside of the representation for New York City, there's a f***ing desert. But that's neither here nor there. At least the music's good, with the music matching both settings depending on which version you're playing. A bustling construction site, or a long-forgotten city on the outskirts of the region's biggest. Relic Castle is also a nice side diversion to explore while going through the game, with the music perfectly fitting the setting of an ancient, decrepit castle, lost to the sands of time, full of all sorts of mysteries to uncover, such as, why the hell are there Zanzar Meditan out here in front of the castle entrance? Why is there just a random doctor chilling in the middle of a sandstorm? Why is there a modern gate in front of the ruins? And many more. And of course, a couple of sandy routes couldn't be complete without Unova's depiction of Las Vegas chilling right at the end of the route. Okay, what? Wait, it's not Las Vegas? What do you mean? Okay, so scratch that. Apparently this is actually based on Broadway, not Las Vegas. So much for half of my jokes about being, New York and Vegas being insanely far apart. Oh well. Regardless, I still feel both are accurate descriptors to the theme being played. If Castelia City sounded more of the bustling city life, this sounds like more of a celebration of life. I feel the joy and excitement bursting from every instrument in this theme, and I can imagine going from the big stadium to the roller coaster themed gym, that's still really cool, and hearing the music cheer me along as I make my way around. Okay, now that I think about it, the musical theater is in this city, so that does make sense for Broadway. Guess I just have rocks for brains. The next few cities and locales in the game are also really fun to explore. Driftvale City, representing the Wild West expansion-ish theme, sounds absolutely great. Lots of fun of instruments are used here. Metropolitan City and Sour are both really nice tunes to listen to. The city, being the airport of the region, being accompanied by some high-flying, upbeat music to follow. It's a shame, though, however, how small the city is for being the region's main airport and all. Like, do you not know how big airports are, or whatever? Icarus City is also a nice little city that feels very down to earth. I love how the main instrument here is the xylophone, I think, giving it a very indigenous feel, as if everything around here is built with the main worry of not disturbing the life around it. Now, after Icarus City, the game just hits you with some absolute bangers back to back to back. I'm gonna let you listen to probably all of these because mainly I want to get across how good all of these themes are. First off, Dragon Spiral Tower. This is my favorite dungeon theme of any Pokemon game, hands down. The piano is absolutely gorgeous here, with each note allowing my mind to drift in and out of a state of pure bliss and relaxation. However, on the other hand, knowing the context of the story at this point, this also can be seen as quite unsettling, as you traverse the tower for the first time, and is currently summoning his legendary dragon, depending on which version, effectively putting the whole region on notice for a takeover. Team Plasma grunts are swarming everywhere as you turn, turning the otherwise untouched tower into a battleground for the region's future. With that in mind, this theme all of a sudden sounds extremely forbidding, as if you don't continue your ascent up, the game's villain will win. I can continue to gush on and on about this theme for ages, but there are others that need to be mentioned. Now, let's see if I can do this the first pronunciation right without the comments screaming at me. Okay. Opalucid City has two themes based on the version of the game you play, and both are absolutely amazing. For a white version, you have this rundown, quaint little town surrounded by history, with a violin serenading the townsfolk with its slow, easygoing tempo. Black version, the feeling is quite the opposite, with a far advanced city with its eye on the future, and the synth absolutely kills it here. I do like how both versions have leitmotifs, if that's what you call it, I probably just butchered that, connecting the two extreme opposites together. Okay, so next is Route 10, and I'm going to preface this by saying that this is my favorite route music in the game. By far. This theme needs no description, just listen to how good it is. After traversing the league's victory road in a race against the clock to beat it before End does, you reach the Pokemon League, a final challenge that really sets the tone as an extremely imposing piece of music. There is no grandiose celebration of making it this far like the newer games. This is just the beginning of your journey. Not only are you facing the region's very best of the best, but you're also having the looming threat of Team Plasma breathing down your neck, adding to the anxiety. It is implied that you, Charon, and N are all essentially taking on this at the same time. Talk about an absolute tension that you can cut with a knife. Of course, N ends up beating Alder first, thus making him the champion and king of Unova. He springs Team Plasma's plan into action right away, as a massive castle sprouts around the league, dwarfing the once imposing Pokemon League in size by comparison. He challenges you to stop him, leading to the most criminally underused theme in any Pokemon game ever. The snippet of the bridge theme I just played is about 3 times longer than you probably will hear it in the game, as you probably sped into the castle, ready to beat the game. Of course, you're then in the castle, which, in and of itself, is another amazing theme. For me, I think of it as the peak of ending of a Pokemon game. The champion not necessarily being tied to the conclusion of the game, but instead storming the main villain's home turf. This evil, foreboding organ plays in the background screaming, "This is the end of the game." Okay, that took longer than I thought to list out. So many good themes that I mentioned, and I didn't even mention a good chunk of the other themes up there too. Fortunately, this video is already going to be long as hell, so let's move on to the next part. The main gameplay of the Pokemon games are the battles, so if the battle music is crap, you'll notice right away. Luckily for the Pokemon games, that problem is basically non-existent. Not going to spend too much time on the generic trainer and wild encounter themes, mainly because there aren't anything too crazy to write home about, but also because I've heard them in damn near every single fan-made RPG Maker game, and it's brain-numbing to hear now after doing grinding for those games for so long. So, we're mainly going to focus on the more important battles for now. Now, I can't talk about battle themes in Gen 5 without mentioning something that is very polarizing amongst the community, and that is the low health theme. Now, while it's great at its job making you sit on the edge of your seat while your Pokemon is at low health screaming, "Hey dum-dum, you need to heal," the biggest flaw with this theme is that it plays every single time, and interrupts every important trainer battle theme, which at that point just ruins any immersion the other things try to attempt in favor of, haha, you're anxious now. So, that, in my opinion, is a massive flaw. The rival theme for Gen 5 is actually really good, which is important considering you fight these guys on basically every single route of the game. Who knew that an accordion could sound this good? It's a peppy, exciting theme that captures the main two rivals of the game pretty well. N's theme is also very good, encapsulating the strange enigma that is N. I'll go into more detail with his final theme and his encounter theme, but they do really well in capturing what makes N cool in all of his themes. The main villains for the Gen 5 games have absolute bangers for a theme. How royal this theme sounds. The gym leaders are all much bigger deals in the Unova games, as you can see them actively taking steps in the fight against Team Plasma. So it's extremely fitting that the music used for these battles is extremely epic. Each show is loud, intense, and sets the tone for this battle to be nothing to scoff at. Now, if you thought the Gym Leader theme was intense, man do I have news for you about the Elite Four theme. Man, that intro is intense. With the title of the piece being called Four Heavenly Kings, you gotta expect these four to be the very best of the best. With this being by far the hardest Elite Four, and also the storyline around this point, it seems as if everything going on is life or death, which I mean is the main character's like whole thing. I don't know, because
if Team Plasma wins, you know, yeah. I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but I absolutely love the use of drums in the Unova battle games, and the Elite Four is one of the biggest reasons, helping establish the Kings of Unova as these terrifyingly strong individuals. The Unovan's Enigma's final stand is the Battle of the Ages, and fittingly enough, his theme gets a bit of a tune-up heading into what is billed as the final clash. Already really good theme, turns up the intensity. Take a listen. Gets' theme is the Dennis theme everyone talks about. Remember how I said earlier about drums being in these games being extremely good? This theme is all drums. Now the only negative thing about the battle OSTs is that it gets interrupted all the time by the low health theme. If it wasn't for that, this would be a 5 out of 5. But for that, it makes it a 4 out of 5. Encounter themes and cutscene themes are something that have been around in the Pokemon games for a long time, tracing far back into the Red-Blue days with the rival encounter theme. However, I feel that there was a certain point, namely Gen 7, where I feel they did encounter themes the best. Not going heavy into it, but I will say a lot of the themes of the Alola region, at least the encounter themes, are just extremely good in every way. This is a gradual process, however, so let's see how Gen 5 did. Now the rival themes are a little different. Bianca's theme fits her character perfectly, a carefree, happy-go-lucky trainer who is out in the world trying to figure out how she fits into said world. Sharon's theme is more typical with your blues and your berries. This is your main competitive rival throughout the game. Nothing in your face, but speaks volumes of Sharon as a confident young trainer, aiming to prove that he is the very best at what he does. Now, I personally count N as a rival, so I'm sticking to his theme being placed right here. I love how unique it sounds, which is fitting for a character like N. In Black and White, he's sort of this strange character to be around, a weirdo trying to fit in. Let's talk about one of the series' darkest minds, Getsis. Without going into too much detail, let's just say that Getsis is a real piece of shit. Neglects his son, willfully manipulates is a hard word, manipulates people into doing his bidding, the whole 9 yards. He has two different themes that play for him when he's on screen, both representing the two personas he portrays. The manipulative leader theme, where he swoons his audiences with his masterful way of speech. The latter theme, which plays when everything starts to go to shit for the supervillain, is chaotic, no sense of control being applied here. The fast tempo represents the true insanity of the true mastermind of Team Plasma. Also, fun fact, this theme is only 14 seconds long before it loops. Why? I have no idea, because it feels so much longer, but whatever. Fun facts. All in all, these two versions of the same oppressive figure in the Unova games do wonders, painting the true villain as crazed and disturbed as possible. And now for something completely different. Emotion is one of the best themes Game Freak has ever put into their games. Junichi Masuda, as much flack as he gets nowadays for how Pokemon has become, created what I feel is his magnum opus in this piece. A true masterpiece. Thinking back to all of the moments this plays in, like Bianca defying her father's wishes of returning home to continue her journey. Sharon realizing that no matter what, the destination does not outweigh the adventure it takes to get there, and you don't have to be the best. So many other moments. It's a theme that pulls at the heartstrings, unlocks happy memories, and makes you yearn for the old times. The times where you would stay up until the wee hours of the morning, with a DS Lite in hand, shutting it as your parents come in after hearing you still up and about. The time spent with friends in elementary school and during summer, coming up with new ways to share more and more memories. However, it also portrays another big theme, growth. Imagine yourself maybe 5 years ago. How much have you grown? How have you overcome so many obstacles in your life through sheer determination? How, no matter what challenges you currently face, or will face in the future, none will shake your headstrong attitude. Another theme that establishes this same idea is N's Farewell, which is, in my mind, another masterpiece. Well, emotion was meant to be a vague, insert your emotion here type of thing. This theme seems specifically written to capture N, honestly one of the more tragic characters in the Pokemon franchise. A boy born and raised with the ability to communicate with Pokemon, labeled a freak without a human heart by his own father. This same father, while sharing these horrible thoughts about his own child, sees him as a mere tool to get in his way, grooming him to be the puppet king of Team Plasma. N, seeing the horrible mistreatment of Pokemon in his life by his father and Team Plasma, being able to understand their pain, is manipulated into thinking that all Pokemon feel this way, and is set on a path to free them all. Though, for completely different reasons than his father. N wants to free his Pokemon in order to see no more pain in the world at all. Getsus does it to see the exact opposite. N, seeing the horrible mistreatment of Pokemon in his life by his father and Team Plasma, being able to understand their pain, is manipulated into thinking that all Pokemon feel this way, and is set on a path to free them all. Though, for completely different reasons than his father. N wants to free his Pokemon in order to see no more pain in the world at all. Getsus does it to see the exact opposite. In the end, however, as N begins his journey to live out his role as the king, he meets many different people on this journey, all sharing experiences of love and companionship with their Pokemon partners. The main one, however, that breaks N of his brainwashing, ultimately, is you, the player, who's able to snap him out of this way of thinking. He begins to question himself, question his father, and ultimately, during his greatest humiliation in losing to you in his own throne room, he is ridiculed by his own father, revealing his true intentions. After the Mad King's defeat, you and N are left standing in the ruins of what once was N's kingdom. He asks you to walk with him, and he reveals what your Pokemon told him during his first meeting. The Unova games do in fact live up to the hype of being the peak of Pokemon as a game, or at the very least, the very peak of Pokemon OSTs. I just don't think any other region can compete with it. The storytelling each theme can tell, and the lasting impact that many people that have played this game, including myself, cannot be understated. The Pokemon series has been through a lot recently. The whole drama of the last few generations not being the best and all, the whole national dex thing, and all of that. A lot of people go back to this game with fond nostalgia as the end of an era of good Pokemon games. And while that may be true, at least we can all look back and appreciate the good times of the Pokemon series. Remember that no matter what Game Freak does wrong, at least remember what they did right. I'd like to thank you all for watching this video. Now, I said this is going to be a ranking, but this was more of an excuse to gush over the OST Pokemon. Like I said earlier, I will eventually talk about more of the games in the future. We'll probably have better objectivity in this video, but I just needed to just talk about how good this game was. If, however, you seem to enjoy this way of discussing the music more, please let me know. Also, I will mention that I did not talk about Pokemon Black and White 2 nearly at all in this video. So, because this video would be so much longer than it is right now. So, if there is a demand for a part 2 to this, it definitely would be shorter. Also, let me know in the comments. Other than that, I think that pretty much covers everything in today's video. I'm going to be streaming a Volt Light Hardcore Nuzlocke on my Twitch channel starting 2 days from this video's release. So if you want to check it out, listen to the themes that, you listened to beforehand in this video, come on through. Working my way to a Twitch affiliate, so that would be super dope if you all came through. Thank you all for watching once again, and I hope to see you again very soon.